after a really long time. And today, uh, the topic that was selected by Nilamani Prabhu was Bhagavatam stories in the Bhagavad Gita. During COVID, I had good time to just contemplate and study the Gita more deeply from lot of perspectives, especially to bring out Gita in a way that's very relevant and understandable, because it's always been a challenge to get a grasp of the Gita. Even after doing Bhakti Shastri, uh, you understand the conclusion, but why Krishna spoke the chapter in the sequence and all that was always a mystery. So during my study, this was one of the things that was a uh, discovery to me, that many of the stories that are in the Bhagavatam, there is a reference, there is a mention of that whole story in a nutshell. And then I was started to think, is it my own speculation or is it actually there? Because in some places Acharyas do mention about the story. In some places the example is given. And then I remembered Srila Prabhupada always saying that the Bhagavad Gita is the book of laws, the essential codes of conduct for human society. The manual is the Bhagavad Gita. And then how in different circumstances, just like when there is a law book, there are codes of the book, codes of law, and there are cases of law. And when you go through the cases of law, then you understand the code much well. Most of you, when you are studying, say, initially physics, there is very simple equation F equal to ma. You think you know it, but only when you are put to test with different, say, problems, that time that I actually don't know. So in the Bhagavatam, we have so many stories of how a devotee lives according to the way Krishna wants. So the Bhagavatam is a case manual of all the stories that are there, and the Bhagavad Gita is the codes. And therefore, Prabhupada, after writing Bhagavad Gita, he wanted to give to the world Bhagavatam, because only when we hear the stories does our attraction to Krishna increase, and also we can see where are the pitfalls that potentially big stalwarts have fallen into. The story of Bharat Maharaj, how being such a great king, he goes into the forest, and as he is meditating, a small little one deer comes. And we had actually gone in Nepal, that very place where the deer jumped across the river, Gandaki river. And when he saw this small little deer, compassion arose that, oh, this small little baby is drowning, I need to go and save it. And saving was good, but then just because he saved it, he started to think that he is the only savior that is there. If you don't continue to save the deer, then the deer, uh, may fall prey to different animals, and there is whole attention shifts from his sadhana to this deer, and slowly starts to get attached. And in the Gita, Krishna does warn, especially in the section of Sthita Prajna, that
somebody who is trying to study his intelligence, study his mind, and fully focus on Krishna, one should be aware. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Bajayati Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodho Bijayati. Because when you start to see anything, the attachment for that starts to develop. And then you want to have that. Therefore, all these advertisements, they keep on popping up. The moment you speak something in your home, that some machine is not working, or maybe I need to change my phone, the Facebook and the Google, they are all hearing it. And all that ads start to come on your phone. And then repeatedly seeing that, or even if you say, maybe I need to move to a different house, and those ads start to come. So the more you contemplate, more and more the attachment develops. So in Hindi there is a small little saying, I'll also translate it in English. The saying is the discussion between the heart and the eyes. And the heart is telling the eyes, इतना देखो मत तुम, क्योंकि देखते हो तुम तड़पते हैं हम. The heart is telling, don't look so much on this particular object, because you look, but then I get a desire to have that person, have that object. You're going and then you see a very sleek car, and the more you start to see, hey, he has that car, then maybe I should get that car. So देखते हो तुम, तड़पते हैं हम. Then itself. Then the eyes told the heart, इतना चाहा मत करो, चाहते हो तुम, रोते हैं हम. Whatever you see, don't start to latch onto that, because you get attached to that, and then when because of that, I start to cry. I start to want that. So anything that we contemplate, there are attachment develops. And in the Bhagavatam there are quite a few stories to make that point very emphatically clear to us. And that's the reason why case studies are there, so that the point is very clear, that if you break this rule, then this is the circumstance. It may be stated, but a code, unless it becomes a actual case, people don't take that really seriously. So I will go through few stories, not all stories, in the Bhagavatam. The first is the similarities between Arjuna's situation and Vyasa's situation. Of course, tomorrow in another program we are going to take this up. That Vyasa, he was also very morose. After writing all the Vedas, he was feeling dissatisfied. He was feeling, I didn't do the job, or did I do the whatever I wrote everything that is there in the creation, about everything that has happened. Then why am I feeling so empty inside? And Arjuna, before the battle began, he also was feeling very morose. So Vyasa, after doing the work, he felt unhappy. Arjuna, before starting the work, he was not sure whether this is what I'm supposed to do. And Arjuna's confusion was about activity, that what is the right activity to be done. And Vyasa's confusion was about what is the right knowledge. that I gave so much knowledge in the Vedas, but with all this knowledge, I am not feeling complete. And just now, Prabhuji was mentioning about Dashara. When with 10 heads, Ravana had 0 brains. And someone else said this, that Ravana with his 10 heads, that means 20 eyes, he lusted after one lady, and that was the cause of his destruction. And in Kali Yuga, with 2 eyes, people lust after so many, then what will be the destruction level of ours? in हिंदी जैसे 20 आंखों से एक के ऊपर नजर डाला तो ऐसा दुर्घटना घटी, तो अगर 2 आंखों से नजर डालेंगे तो कितना दुर्घटना. And this is also very classic case of Krishna telling in the Gita, Jayito Vishyan Pumsa. This slide will come. That Surpanaka went and she praised Sita like anything. And if you don't have Sita, then you are not complete. Typical advertisements. That if you don't drink this particular brand of water, or if you don't have this brand of car, and they show with celebrities. In United States, the ads are much toned down, lesser than in India. India, it's right hitting into your eye. You don't have to go into the market to find out what's the new product. Everything is on the road. And as he started to contemplate, again, he developed attachment, and from that attachment, lust came, and from that lust, what he was lusting for, Ram came to take it back. He became angry, and then he forgot. He was in delusion. He forgot that Ram is the supreme, even after telling by so many people, and ultimately he fell down. I will not focus on this pastime because most probably next week it will be discussed. In the second chapter of the Gita, Krishna ends this chapter, and which was most probably the ending of the Gita. If Arjuna had not asked a question, this verse is the conclusion of the Gita, because Krishna only wanted to give short pep talk, motivate him, and then make him work, make him do the fight. Therefore, Prabhupada always says, contents of the Gita summarized. The second chapter is like the table of contents. Everything is there in that second chapter. All other chapters you can connect which section is being spoken in which chapter. So, can you all repeat after me, line after line? Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuyati Hitvasya Kalepi Brahma Nirvana Mrichyati. So Krishna says, one who is situated in transcendence, Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha, and one who doesn't get bewildered and is situated in that transcendent position, he will achieve spiritual Brahma Nirvana. But then our Acharyas, they tell that this word Brahmi is a unique word because Brahma is big, or the most expansive one. It's in what do you call it? Male. It's a male word, but it's masculine. So it's a masculine word is Brahma. And Brahmi, he says, is a feminine word. Because sometimes in ISKCON, we don't know when a name is given, initiation name, whether it's, like I know one devotee whose name is Prem Kishore. Two devotees, one is a Mataji, one is a Prabhuji. But usually, no, Brahmi is, whenever anything ends with I, it is feminine word. So, that which belongs to Brahma, or the most ends Krishna, is Brahmi. So therefore, Acharya say, Brahmi means one who is taking shelter of Srimati Radharani. And one who takes shelter of Srimati Radharani or the process of bhakti, which is her Shakti, then he will achieve the spiritual realm. And then Brahmi also means those who belong to Brahma or the Vaishnavas. And also Brahmi means that which denotes Brahma, which is the name, holy name of Krishna. So one who chants the holy names of Krishna till the end of their life, then he will achieve the spiritual world. Because we are short of time, I can't take all the verses. One very sweet understanding of one verse I'll take. Please repeat after me. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. So this verse comes in the 9th chapter of the Gita, where it is this Krishna is telling how bhakti is the highest of all knowledge. Connecting to Krishna is the highest of all knowledge, and it discusses 9 specialities of bhakti, which are in this 9th chapter, 9 specialities of bhakti. But then it is also said that this verse refers to Krishna's Makan Chorli. And he is saying, what is the highest of all knowledge? Highest of all knowledge is the knowledge of churning butter. How many of you know churning butter? How many of you churn butter here? Oh yes, so it takes quite effort, and it's a very simple. So far, it's not very high technology. It's not like rocket science that you have to go through years of study. So many vidyas are there. In United States, someone wants to become a basic doctor, at least 11 to 12 years of study, and then after that more and more specializations. But according to Krishna, the highest of all knowledge is churning of butter. And what does that churning imply? That your life is like a milk, and unless you are able to churn that thing which is pleasing to Krishna, you have not understood the real, you have not learned the highest of all knowledge. One has to live one's life, there will be churning, whether you are in bhakti or not. Life will churn you. But will butter come out or will bitter come out? Katwapan or bitterness. So many, as they start to grow old, the taste of their life comes to be bitter, that I spent so much of my energy taking care of this and that, and now there is no one that values me or looks at me. So Krishna is saying that the highest of all knowledge is churning butter, which the gopis know. That it is butter that is most pleasing to Krishna. When our heart is made soft, now there are so many anarthas because of which the heart is hard. But more and more the anarthas are removed, the heart becomes soft like a butter, and then Krishna loves to steal that. But the gopis, they want to know whether Krishna is really eager for the butter or not. When at home, when we say mother makes some laddu or some nice eatable, she gives the child that thing to eat, and he eats, and then she keeps the box somewhere in the kitchen, and the child really likes the laddu. Then when the mother is not there, he will search for that laddu, take down that box, open it and eat it. So the gopis wanted to check if Krishna is really eager for my butter. And therefore, they tried to make the butter, their love for Krishna, which is in the form of butter, as guhya as possible, as confidential as possible. And therefore, they used to keep their love in a dark room, or sometimes on top of on the ceiling. And then Krishna used to come with so many different types of techniques to come and steal that butter. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to take, even if the devotee didn't want to offer, he used to take Raghunath Das Goswami's those grains that were eaten by the Kalinga cows and taste them. With Krishna, Sudama, Krishna used to steal and eat. So, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, the devotees of Krishna, they know the greatest art of pleasing Krishna, but they don't always exhibit that. Srila Prabhupada also, he didn't always exhibit his ecstasies very openly. Even when they came out spontaneously, he didn't make a big announcement or, yes, I was feeling ecstasy for Krishna. Here in US 2-3 times Prabhupada, seeing the mercy of Gaur Nitai, how it is transforming so many people. He started to get choked up. How merciful are Gaur Nitai. But when devotees, were checking with him, say, never mind, just chant Hare Krishna. I think Brahmanand has asked, Prabhupada, what should we do when you go into ecstasy? Prabhupada said, just chant Hare Krishna. And I'll be normal, I'll come out. So, the real love of Krishna is very deeply hidden in the hearts of devotees, in the hearts of Guru, Mahatmas, and they don't exhibit that very easily. But Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was very repulsive to go into any social places to practice his bhakti, and used to sometimes go into a toilet and sit there to chant. And of course we don't recommend that. I know some devotees in Bombay, their family was so against that the only place they could chant their 16 rounds was in the toilet of their house. So much against. And sometimes for months they did not to chant their rounds. So this element of bhakti is very confidential. It's not easily accessible. Therefore Krishna says this is the secret of all secrets, Rajaguhyam. But this stealing of butter that Krishna is doing, capturing and distributing, this is the most highest of all sacrifices, highest of all activities. To distribute that love that the Brajvasis have to the population. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came, he plundered that love of Godhead which was stored. The verse is Charim Chirad Karunayavatirna Karo Anarpita Charim Chirad Karunayavatirna Karo Samarpitu Munnatodjala Savakti Shriya Haripurata Sundara Dukita Paramba Sandipita Sada Hriday Kandare Svatova Sachinandana. That this love of Godhead that was stored in the heart of Krishna, in the heart of Radharani, gopis, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he distributed it openly. Therefore Prabhupada also said, this bhakti is very rare. And one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, he said, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is distributing nectar like water. But people don't take benefit of that. But what we are getting is very, very rare. Direct access to Krishna's heart. Therefore, it is said, Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's words, Bhagavatam is Krishna's actions, but Chaitanya Charitamrita is Krishna's heart, devotee's heart. How does it feel? And Pratyakshavagavam Dharma. And this bhakti is directly experienceable. It is dharmyam. It is not adharma. People think that if you are neglecting other duties and dedicating your time, you are doing adharma. But it is provided one doesn't neglect once one has taken the responsibility. And it is very joyful, stealing of butter. For Krishna it was a joyous occasion for all the devotees. There is a nice story that Shubilas writes in his book, is that one day Krishna came and knocked on the door of a gopi, and he asked, and when the gopi opened, he said that in my house there are some rishis that have come, and my mother is asking for butter because our butter is is not sufficient. Can you give butter? And the gopi felt, I can do some seva to the rishis, sadhus. So she came and gave him butter, and along with the butter she also gave him makan mishu. That please add this and give to the sages. They will enjoy. They will be happy. And as soon as the gopi closed the doors, Krishna, right in front of the house, he called all his friends. And he started to feed that butter. And he said that there is one joy to steal and hide and eat in one place. But there is greater joy if you steal and eat right in front of the one whose house you have stolen. And he said, this is the hardest chori. And as they were eating, there was noise, and this gopi, when she came out, he saw that Krishna said something else that I have to give to sages, and now he is doing something else. And then she asked Krishna, Krishna, you told a lie? So no, I didn't tell a lie. All these, my friends are all sages. That they have done Krita Punya Puja, they have done so many tapasyas in their previous lives. And he pointed to one boy. was not wearing any clothes. So he is Naga Baba. He's done a lot of tapasya. And that boy was oblivious what's happening. He was just eating butter. So this is another sweet revelation that Acharyas gave. And then I will share one more story. It is very clearly, it's this pastime of Gajendra. That the Gajendra, he was so immersed in his, pleasing his family and taking them on a vacation. Long back when we had done Prerna, and the pastime was this, we had given the title, when a holiday turns into a nightmare. They went on a vacation, and then out of nowhere, this crocodile comes and catches Gajendra. He fights for a while, and then he starts to feel that I'm not going to win this battle. It was not for a while, it was 1,000 years, 1,000 years, celestial years they were fighting. And that place is still there in Nepal, where the fight started. And the fight ended at Haridwar. They were fighting all through the river, and they were dragging. And if you go there, the very place where Gajendra was caught, that bank also looks like a crocodile. It's like this. And there are still a lot of crocodiles there. And we wanted to take, when we had gone, a ride across the river. Because across that river is where Valmiki Muni's ashram is there, where Sita Devi went into the ground. Somehow when our boatman was a bit greedy, he took more people than that was allowed. And right when we went 10 feet inside, the boat started to sink. And we were not aware, somebody started to say, there are a lot of crocodiles here. Then the entire crowd was even more hysterical. And there were a lot of bags and different things, they were carrying. But the only thing, most of the people, the only thing that they picked up was their mobile. That shows how dear was that mobile to them. But the boatman, I clearly remember this, the thing that boatman picked up was his lantern. Because among all the boat will not get, even if it drowns, it will not get spoiled. But for him, that lantern was of great value. He anyway didn't have a mobile, he was a simple villager in Nepal. He picked up that as he was drowning, and naturally it was not that deep. Everybody just jumped in and ran to the shore. So when something is very dear to us, we want to hold on to it as long as possible. And Gajendra, he was trying to get rid of this crocodile, and was struggling. And in his struggle, he started to realize that this struggle is not going to help me. And as he started to become, give up his pride in his strength, give up his pride in his ability to protect himself, suddenly Krishna, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam. Krishna says in the 15th chapter, 15th verse, that it is me who gives a person forgetfulness, remembrance and knowledge. So Krishna, at that moment of total helplessness, he gave Gajendra memory of his previous life and all the shlokas, prayers that he had learned in his previous life. And also the devotion service that he did. And as he was offering his prayers, Krishna became very attracted, and he started to run. And you'll see here in this photo Krishna is running towards, to save Gajendra. And although there was Garuda next to him, some Acharyas say that initially Krishna was riding on the Garuda, and Garuda is a very fast carrier. But Krishna's eagerness was so much that he left Garuda and he started to run himself to go and protect. And in love, he was, and in another place, this story is told in a little different way, that as Garuda was being told to go faster and faster, after a while Garuda got very tired and he could not go any further. Then Krishna took Garuda on his back and he started to run. And as he was running to protect Gajendra, he was also, there's a beautiful photograph, painting also, he was feeding water to Gajendra. Sometimes it happens that, we are focused on one devotee and we may tend to neglect another devotee. But Krishna was very eager to protect Gajendra, but Garuda was also very dear. So here in this, Krishna is running to protect Gajendra. And at that moment, Gajendra, as soon as he sees Krishna, he wants to offer some seva to Krishna. So he picks up a lotus flower and he starts to offer to Krishna. So in the 11th chapter, 55th verse, Prabhupada writes that verse as the essence of devotional service or essence of Bhagavad Gita. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sanga varjita nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mameti pandava. And Acharya say that in this Gajendra is depicting how whatever you do for me. That lotus flower he picked up and he is offering to Krishna. So mat karma krin. Whatever karma you do, so offer your acts to me. And what is the goal? The goal of Gajendra was not to be saved from that crocodile. The goal of Gajendra was to take shelter of Krishna. That crocodile only became a means to realize that in this world I cannot take shelter or depend on anyone. Even when Draupadi was praying to Krishna, it was not that, oh Krishna, if I take shelter of you, you will come in. So the goal was not protect me, but the goal was, I want to take your shelter. And natural consequence was devotees are naturally protected by Krishna. So for Gajendra made Krishna as the only goal. Mat paramo, make me as your only goal. Else sometimes bhakti is done, but our goal is something else. We do bhakti so that we get peace of mind. That's consequence. We don't have to make that goal. We do bhakti so that we can. Sometimes in India people come to ISKCON so that they can come to US, easy visa method. Different goals people may have, and sometimes, many times, even when we are performing bhakti, we should keep asking, what's my mat parama? What is my actual goal? Shri Radharani Maharaj says that whatever goal you have, that's what you achieve. He gives this example that sometimes when people come to temple, many people come with many goals. Some people come because there is free food, free prasadam. And what is the benefit of them coming to the temple? They get free prasadam. Some people may come because they can meet their friends, devotee friends. What is the benefit they get? They meet their devotee friends. So whatever goal for which you perform an activity, and some people come, some devotees may come, to serve and please Shri Gaur Nitai, and that's what the goal they get. So therefore, bhakti activity is same, but what is the goal for which we are doing? Whether it be chanting, whether it be serving, and if the goal is not Krishna, Shri Gopal Ji ki, Shri Gaur Nitai Gaur Chandra ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshmi Mohan Ji ki. And then Mad Bhakta, he was also offering one of the 9 limbs of bhakti, which is prayers. He was chanting different prayers to Krishna. Mad Bhakta. And Sangha Varjita, he no longer depended on the material hopes that he had. My friends, my family will protect me. He understood that all these sanghas that I was trying to have cannot protect me. Till then, he thought, even the family wanted to protect, but they couldn't enter into those waters or fight that very strong crocodile. And then, so, offer your acts to Krishna, make Krishna your goal, perform his bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Archanam. So all these 9 limbs of bhakti, offer that, Mad Bhakta. And then give up bad association, give up that association that is not going to help you to take shelter of Krishna, make you more and more dependent. But the last thing which Krishna says, which often becomes the most difficult for us, is Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu. Don't be inimical to anyone. And Gajendra had no tinge of hate towards the crocodile. Somebody who is sucking his blood, taking his life away. Gajendra, once he started to offer his prayers and realized this was only an opportunity that Krishna has given me to take shelter, he gave up all hate, envy towards the crocodile also, one who is friendly to all living entities. And Krishna says, Yasa Mameti Pandava. Such a person definitely, eti, is certainly comes to me. So, yes, this verse is there, but then when this verse is a summary nutshell of Gajendra Leela, so it said that when Krishna was speaking different verses, he was remembering different devotees of their qualities, which Shukadeva Goswami enlists in the Bhagavatam. Of course, not all connections are given. You can't go each verse where all it's connected, but few of the verses like this our acharyas have given, and even Ras Leela is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Full Ras Leela in nutshell is given, which is the 10.8 to 10.12, the Chatushloki Gita, which we say the highest, the most essential wisdom that one of the acharyas mentioned. That is the where Krishna is remembering the highest of all devotees. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartati. People think that this means that Krishna is saying, I am the source of everything. Let me see that slide. I'll stop with that. But Acharya say there is yes, the word, I am the source of all the worlds, but for every devotee, every person has his own world. There is the world and there is my world. Yes, God has made the world, but in my world it is my choice. Will I bring Krishna into my world or not? So therefore, when Krishna is speaking this, he is not, in one way he is saying, I am the source of everything. But another meaning to this is that my devotees make me their everything. I make everything and my devotee makes me his everything. And matta sarvam pravartate. And for me, he is whatever he is doing is continuously only thinking of me. So, of course, we will not fully explain the whole thing, but you can get a glimpse of this. And in my these discoveries as I was studying Bhagavad Gita with all these different commentaries, during COVID time, it was a blessing that I could come up with this book, Gita Sutras, which tries to summarize, help explain Bhagavad Gita in a non-technical way, so it is easy to read for modern audience or young audience. At the same time, some places, some sweet things like this are also, wherever Acharyas mentioned, I try to mention. So, hope you got some glimpses of how Bhagavad Gita is expanded in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavatam is expanded in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In one way, it is next level of study, and that's also true. That where Bhagavad Gita ends, Bhagavatam begins. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you have to become sinless. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam aham tvam sarvapapi. If you take shelter of me, I'll make you sinless. And in the Bhagavatam, then those who are sinless, those who are envyless, how do they behave? It is given in the Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam, makes us fearless. How devotees are protected by Krishna. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see how devotees behave when they are envious, that they don't have any type of envy amongst each other. So, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Nirvani Prabhu and all the devotees. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sai Gaur Premanand. Anyone has any questions? Or yes, please.
You began by telling the story of Bharat Maharaj. So he was on the platform of Bhava. And we don't have many examples of people or devotees that have fallen from that platform. At the platform of Bhava, the mind is already attracted to Krishna. One has a ruchi, and Bhava is the seed of praying. So my question is, what was the particular contamination that gave rise to Bharat's fall, or was it a special arrangement by Krishna?
Thank you, Prabhu. It is when you every devotee's life is definitely planned by Krishna, but two lessons. That one is he was practicing his bhakti alone. There was no devotees around. Another was one is there was no devotees around. Another was there was a mobile around. There was a distracting element around, which he was getting attracted. So these are two things that if you continue to focus, not focus on Krishna and get distracted, then distracted get attracted. So you tend to get attracted to distraction and then you fall away. But if we have devotees, then they can keep a check on us. They'll say that Prabhu, what are you doing outside when the class is happening? So they'll come and have a check, which Bharat didn't have in his first attempt, but later as soon as he took a deer birth, he went to the ashram and associated with devotees. So if we just make sure that we are with devotees, then we are protected. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, so wonderful class. My question was, when you talked about Gajendra not having any trace of hatred towards the crocodile, could you speak about, we all come with different anarthas in different measures. It's not that we have to be free from anarthas to become a devotee, it's actually the process of bhakti that gets rid of the anarthas. So isn't it that when Gajendra selflessly and without any motive offered that lotus and started chanting those prayers, that all anarthas went away from his heart?
Yes, Prabhu. Krishna is saying that only when you reach the stage in your practice of bhakti that you are no more being hateful of any of the situations or the people that caused you trouble. You are now transcended that. You are in fact, because of this trouble I am able to take shelter of Krishna and there is no hatred that you harbor. Definitely we will not go and put our leg into a crocodile. But if crocodile does catch us, some trouble does catch us, it is not leaving us. A devotee takes shelter of Krishna and he doesn't harbor any hatred. It's not that we have to start from there, but you have to end there. We can start anywhere, but ultimately when we end there, that's when Krishna comes running to save us. So that's our goal, to end there.
Who were the devotees or who were the personalities in that last picture with Gajendra? Because I've never seen that before. There is two devotees offering prayers along.
Even I have not noticed that. I have not noticed that. Thank you. Seems something like, Kaliya Leela, right? But, thank you, I'll find that out. As far as I know, there was no one else offering prayers apart from Krishna. Maybe it's just representation of that he was offering prayers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very daring to be in the water with the crocodiles.